Hey everyone, and welcome. Ever feel like your Spanish is, just missing a little something? That extra bit of detail that makes you sound more like a native speaker? Well, get ready because today we are diving into a super powerful tool that's going to completely level up your speaking Spanish adverbs. So, does this look familiar? I'm sure it does. It's one of those classic head scratchers for Spanish learners. You're thinking, why does one sentence get that mente on the end and the other one doesn't? It feels kind of random, right? Well, I promise you, by the end of this, you won't just know the answer, you'll get it right every single time without even thinking about it. Okay, first things first. We had to lay down a solid foundation. You can't build a house without knowing what a brick is, and we can't build better, more descriptive sentences until we really get what an adverb is all about. So, what's an adverb's main job? Simple. It's all about describing the action. Think of adverbs as the color commentary for your verbs. They're the words that answer all the important questions. How did he run? When did they show up? Where do you actually live? And here's some great news to get us started. If you already know that in English, we often just add ly to turn a word into an adverb, like quick becomes quickly, then you've already cracked half the code for Spanish. That mente ending, that is your new best friend. It's the exact same idea. All right, foundation is set. Now let's look at the actual blueprint. We know we're aiming for that mente ending, but how do we get there? Luckily for all of us, there's a super simple and really consistent formula. It's literally just 2 steps. But, and this is a big but, you have got to pay close attention to step 1. This is where almost everyone messes up. You don't just grab any old form of the adjective. No, it has to be the feminine singular form. Once you've got that, you just stick mente on the end. Simple as that. Getting that first step right is everything. And here we can see that blueprint in action. So take the word rápido. What's the feminine form? Rápida, right? So you get rápidamente. Same with lento. The feminine is lenta, which gives us lentamente. See that pattern? It's just the feminine form plus mente. Easy peasy. Now, of course, there are a couple of little details to keep in mind. What if an adjective doesn't have a separate feminine form, like words that end in e or a consonant? Well, even easier. You just use the word as is and add mente. So natural just becomes naturalmente. Oh, and don't forget the accent marks. If the original adjective has one, it stays right where it is in the adverb. Okay, this right here, this is a total game changer. You should write this down, circle it, highlight it, whatever you need to do. Unlike Spanish adjectives, which are real headaches sometimes, always changing to match nouns, adverbs are easy. They are invariable. They never change. Ever. Why? Because adverbs describe actions, and actions don't have a gender or a number. This rule seriously makes your life so much easier. And check out this perfect example, los estudiantes. Okay, that's masculine, and it's plural. But does the adverb lentamente care? Not one bit. It would be lentamente for 1 female student, lentamente for 1,000 students. The adverb just stays the same. No fuss. All right, so we know what they are. We know how to make them. The next logical question is, where do we actually put them in a sentence? So you've basically got 3 main options. The most common spot, your absolute go-to position, is going to be right after the verb. Think habla bien. Now, if you're using an adverb to describe another adjective or even another adverb, it goes right before it, like in muy inteligente. And if you really want to emphasize something, like the time or the place, you can just pop it right at the beginning of the sentence for extra punch. Now, while that mente formula is our main blueprint, every good builder needs a set of specialized tools, for the jobs you do all the time. These are the essential adverbs that don't follow the rule, but you're going to use them constantly. These guys right here, you'll want to commit these to memory. Words like bien, mal, muy, mucho, siempre, nunca. I mean, these are the absolute bedrock of daily conversation. There's no formula for them, but trust me, you'll hear them and use them so often they'll become second nature in no time. And speaking of those specialized tools, let's talk about a really common trap, muy versus mucho. Here's the simple breakdown. Muy means very, and its job is to power up descriptive words, adjectives, and other adverbs. But mucho means a lot, and it goes with actions and things, verbs and nouns. So you study a lot, estudio mucho. But a class is very interesting, muy interesante. See the difference? Okay, team, we've built our foundation, we have our blueprint, And we have our special tools. It is time for the final inspection. This is where we put it all together and finally solve that puzzle from the very beginning. And here it is. This is the key that unlocks the whole thing. Verbs that describe a state of being, like said in a star, are followed by adjectives because they're describing the person or thing. She is happy. But verbs that describe an action are followed by adverbs because they describe how the action is done. He speaks clearly. State versus action. That is the secret.
All right, pop quiz time. Let's see if you've got it. Look at this sentence. Ask yourself, is cooking an action or a state of being? What does that tell you about the word you need? Take a second, think about it.
The answer is bien. Of course it is. Why? Because cocina, she cooks, is an action verb. We need an adverb to describe how she cooks. The adverb for good is bien, while bueno is the adjective. You got it. Okay, let's try one more. This sentence here has a mistake in it, based on that big rule we just learned. How would you fix it? The verb is your clue. That's your big hint right there. What do you think? And the correction is, ella está feliz. Boom. The verb is está, which is a state of being verb. It tells us what she is, not how she's doing an action. So it needs an adjective, feliz, to describe her. And just like that, the puzzle from the beginning is solved. So let's do a super quick wrap-up. Here are the most important things to remember. Most adverbs, just add mente to the feminine adjective. They never change for gender or number, which is awesome. Your default placement is right after the verb. Make flashcards for those common ones like bien, mal, muy, and mucho. And the biggest rule of all, use adjectives, not adverbs, after ser and estar. So there you have it. You now have the complete toolkit for building better, more descriptive, more impressive sentences in Spanish. The question now isn't just how to use them, but how will you use them? How are you going to speak more clearly, more powerfully, and more dynamically? Today, go out there and give it a shot. Thanks for joining me.